Hello to the world. Today we are at Global Health Science International, and I'm going to be breaking down something which has been prevalently questioned in several occasions. Now, today I'm talking about the menstrual cycle. And the menstrual cycle is a series of events that take place in the reproductive system of a female. In particular, here I'm talking about the female who is human being or a woman. In this case, realize that there are majorly around two hormones that control this, which is the estrogen and the progesterone, through what they call the positive and the negative feedback mechanism. That one I will highlight it to you when you read it. But I want to let you know that this is majorly controlled by around four organs, which is starting from the hypothalamus, the anterior pituitary gland, the ovaries, and the uterus. Those are the major four organs that are involved in this case. Now, to bring it to your understanding that the menstrual cycle is composed of four phases. Now, you see everything is all about four. You'll understand it later. Now, it's comprised of around four phases. The first phase is the menstrual phase, which you can call it as the period phase. The second phase is the follicular phase. Follicular phase, that means the follicles are growing and developing. The third phase is actually called the ovulatory phase. The ovulatory phase is when the egg is coming out. Then we have the last phase, which is called the luteal phase. Now, let me break them down so that you can get the concept. That was a rough estimate and a rough clue about it. Now, let me break it down to let you know that under the menstrual cycle under this menstrual phase takes around 1 to 5 days. Now, taking you 1 to 5 days means from the first day you start seeing your periods up to the 50th day. As a woman, you can have like 3, 4, or 5 days of bleeding through your reproductive organ, which is the vagina. You can see yourself bringing out periods. You can call them MPs in short. In that case, you realize that that is as a result of failed fertilization, when the egg has not been fertilized. So the body will reach to that phase where it has to exclude that blood and has to pass through your vagina in that case. Now, let me highlight to you that during this very phase, there are so many series of hormones that are particularly active in this case. Now, you realize that the follicle stimulating hormone will be active in this phase, majorly leading to development of the primary cells. The primary cells are the cells that are located in the ovary that develop and bring out an ova, or you can call it an egg. Now, in this case, you realize that during that development phase, as these eggs are developing, they produce a hormone called estrogen hormone. Now, it is the estrogen hormone which is responsible for the build-up of the endometrium lining. I'll show it to you. So the endometrium lining will be built up by the effect of the estrogen, which has been produced by these eggs that have been growing. Now, as the estrogen hormone is being produced, the endometrium lining that was broken primarily from day 0 and continues to shed out blood in 1 to 5 days is being rebuilt by estrogen, which is being produced by the primary cells. As these cells grow up, we reach now to what they so-called the follicular phase. The follicular phase is all about the development of the eggs, the primordial cells into the secondary cells. Now, in that case, the cells will grow, and as the cells grow, they will be producing estrogen. I told you that estrogen will be the one responsible for the build-up of the endometrium lining. Thank you. Now, we dive down to understand that we have the next phase called the follicular phase. The follicular phase majorly takes place from 1 to 13 days. From 1 to 13 days means, that's why I told you it encompasses even the menstrual cycle. The menstrual phase ideally it's on the first day. It takes place and there will be a rupture of the endometrium linings leading to a blood flow. So that blood flow keeps losing its original color from red to rubra and to get yellow until the menses become clear. That means the blood will become clear. There will be no other blood coming out. That will be a clear fluid coming out of the vagina. Now, in this case, you realize that during the follicular phase, these eggs are growing and developing and getting mature. And all this is majorly facilitated by the follicle stimulating hormone, which is being produced from the anterior pituitary gland. Now, you realize that in this case, as the eggs are growing and developing, they will reach to a level where there will be development of one dominant follicle. Now, the dominant follicle is a cell that has developed, yet others are undergoing atresia. For it develops, it becomes dominant and grows. Because during this phase of follicular phase, we realize that more than 5 to 20 eggs are being produced by the human reproductive ovaries in one cycle. But not all of them will mature. realize that around 19 of them, if they are 20, will undergo atresia. Then one will develop. Now that one dominant follicle will grow into a secondary cell, and finally the cell that will be ready for fertilization. Now after this cell has matured and has grown fully, that will be what they call the follicular phase. We go now to the next phase, and the next phase is called the ovulatory phase. Ovulatory phase, as this egg grows and matures, it will reach to a level that is around the 13th day, that the luteinizing hormone will be released. The luteinizing hormone surge will go high. As the luteinizing hormone surge goes high, it will lead to the rupture of this egg. As this egg ruptures, the luteinizing hormone only rises up and comes down. It doesn't go and maintain a peak concentration. It goes and falls down. As it rises, it's called the luteinizing hormone surge. It goes up and falls down. As it goes up, it causes the rupture of this secondary cell. As this secondary cell ruptures, of course, it will have to now travel through the fallopian tubes, going out for fertilization. That's what they call the ovulatory phase. It's all about the rupture of this cell, releasing the ovum, which is the egg, which will travel through the fallopian tubes, ready for fertilization. Now, after that ovulatory phase, we are now going to the last phase, the fourth phase, which is called the luteal phase. The luteal phase immediately starts from day 15 up to day 28. In those that are having 28-day cycle, I'm particularly talking about those with a 28-day cycle. Of course, people have got different cycles. Some people have 21-day cycle. Some people have got 45, 28. So I'm actually talking about the 28-day cycle. That's why I'm talking about those days in particular. Please don't misquote me. Now, in this case, you realize that during the luteal phase, it starts from around the 15th day after the rupture, after the egg has been released. The luteal phase comes from when, after the rupture has taken place, you realize that the other follicle cells of the ovum, which were containing inside the egg, will remain, and they will form what they call the corpus luteum. Those cells, the outer coverings of the ovum after the rupture. Remember, rupture means break. That means break and the egg escaped. So that shell, you can call it the egg shell in common sense, but actually this is the granulosa cells that will build up to produce for you the corpus luteum. Now the corpus luteum here in this case will develop, and it is the primary producer of progesterone, of progesterone hormone. Now the progesterone hormone which will produce will help in maintaining, the endometrium lining that was built up by the estrogen, ready waiting for implantation after fertilization. So in other words, progesterone helps in preparation for fertilization and implantation.